Welcome to Wednesday Night Live from the basement. Here's your hosts, Rob, Daryl, and Tim.
Good evening, gentlemen. It's Wednesday. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Brian, our special guest, returning for his 473rd tour as a guest host. We were off last week. You guys have a good off week last week? Did you do anything exciting? I did.
None. Didn't do a whole lot exciting.
Yeah. I was at a concert last week. I went to see Alan Doyle, who I have seen many times, and the show was phenomenal. The man puts on one of the best concerts I've ever seen. It was a 2,500 seat theater, and 2/3 of the show, the entire audience is on their feet, clapping, dancing, stomping their feet. It's good East Coast kind of music, so it was a blast. The highlight for me, though, I mean, not to downplay his show, the opener was a band called the East Pointers from PEI. They were bloody fantastic. Like, it's like kind of Celtic almost, like a lot of fiddle. But that like East Coast jig kind of stuff. Fun. It was a blast. They were fantastic. Really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. Music was really fitting for St. Patrick's Day too. It was that kind of thing. So really enjoyed it. So sorry I missed you guys last week, but I don't have any more concerts on the horizon, but I had to go to that one. So that was my.
I overheard a rumor that Tim also went to a concert. He went to see one of his favorite, nicest musical performers he's ever.
That is a perfect segue because I want to hear this story. So
yeah, I'm just coming off. I'm just coming off a con. I went last night to see. Well, fool me once. What is that? What's that expression?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I think.
Yeah, something like that. So I went to see Chris de Burgh again, and the show was okay. Like, it was nothing extravagant, but he's all like, he's all lovey-dovey with the crowd. And so I'm like, okay, well, the venue is easy access, so I'll go get him after the show, or try to. And I'm with two other buddies. And so we're waiting out there not too long. He splits pretty quick. And he's just like eyes on the ground, doesn't look at us. Eyes on the ground. He's like this, making his way to the car. And his roadie or his manager guy in front of him, he's like, we're too busy. We gotta go. Sorry.
Too busy doing what?
Sorry, we gotta go. And Chris is not looking at it. He's looking down on the ground. So they get to the car and we're just looking at each other like, okay, so nice guy. Here we go again, right? Like last time. The guy that called us eBay scum.
Right.
So we're like, you know what? Fuck this. So my buddy who drove us all down, we all jump in the car and follow him.
Nice.
Thinking, okay, he's gonna go to the hotel or something. No, he goes down to the keg. It's just around the corner. It's like a 30-second drive. So he gets out and we're like, Chris, come on, we just saw your show. I had the picture of the ticket to show him, and he's like,
would have pissed him off even more.
He's like, no guys. And the manager's like, no, come on, we're going to dinner, blah, blah, blah. And then my friend is like, so my friend had a picture of him and Chris de Burgh from 15 years ago. So that's all he had to get signed. I had a record, and my other buddy, he made so his copy of Spanish Train was all beat to shit. So he cut out the Chris de Burgh Spanish Train part of the record, put it on a red mat, frame, and then had the song with the poker hands. So he had the devil's hand and his hand. So he had it all laid out, the devil's hand, and it was really cool. So my brother's like, look, I just got a photo with, I can't sell it. And he's like, let me see it. So he looks at it, signs it reluctantly, and then he does my record, and then he sees my friend's thing that he did up. He's like, oh, wow. And then he's like, oh, wow. Nothing oh, wow. Just, oh, wow. Signs it super quick, just the quickest autograph you can think of. And he's trying to explain to him how he made it and why he did it. But he just walked away as he was explaining why he made this little art thing. And
douchebag.
Yeah, so we're done. We're done.
Wow.
So that was my night last night.
What a shame. You might say that's a record collecting pet peeve, possibly.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up, but no.
Well, and you and I talked about this, Tim. I mean, it's like,
Yeah,
what's that out of his life to sign those 3 autographs? 60 seconds?
yeah. And the time, the fuss that he put up over that, had he just signed at the venue where it's more secluded, it's in a dark alleyway, like he's not causing attention.
Right.
But we're like, you know what? We're gonna make this a little personal, and we followed the butter. we got the autograph, but it was
when you told me that, it got me thinking, right? And I'm like, first of all, ungrateful prick, right? Because let's be honest, if it wasn't for fans, these people wouldn't have the lavish lifestyles. Maybe it's not lavish, but they wouldn't have the celebrity lifestyle that they do.
Yeah.
And then the second thought I had was, it's 2026. 98 out of 100 people don't know who the hell Chris de Burgh is, or do they even give a shit? So sign the damn autograph, man.
Yeah.
Like, I could see if you were leaving the venue because you had a plane leaving in 15 minutes.
Right.
You're
No,
going to the keg.
It was, honest to God, a 25-second drive to the keg.
What a
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry that was the experience, man.
So like I'm kind of over, like, I don't know, I'm just over it.
Yeah.
I'm done with him.
The show was okay though?
The show was okay. Like, it wasn't extravagant. He doesn't move much. He just kind of stands there and sings and engages with the crowd a little bit. But it was good. He still sounds okay. He did some cheesy covers, like he did Africa.
Oh, wow.
Total's Africa. Yeah, weird.
That's strange.
Yeah.
That is really weird.
But yeah.
What's Trevor saying here? Ronnie James Dio famously would tell all young musicians that for them, it's a few seconds. For the fans, it's a lifetime memory. Absolutely right. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. You don't want to say it's part of the job, but I got to think it's part of the job, is it not? I mean,
Yeah, I think it is.
Just the whole mannerism, like, let me see it. It's him and Chris de Burgh from like 15. Let me see it.
Here's the other thing. So what if you had 3 records and you were getting them signed and sell them on eBay?
Yeah.
What the hell does he care?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, he's not losing tens of thousands of dollars in income a year because someone's selling something on eBay.
Yeah. And in the car on the drive home, we looked up, like, what does this guy go for? And it's like $50, $80.
Oh boy.
Man.
We will add him officially to the wanker list.
Yeah.
Anything new and exciting, Brian? What's going on in Toronto these days?
Other than the snow, it was March break, so the kids are not in school, so I've been hanging around. Took some time off work, but on the YouTube front, not much. I haven't done a video this week, so I'm behind. So not that I have a lot of ideas or anything, but nothing much is happening. In other words,
I haven't done much this year, so
your mismatched album covers thing has taken off.
it is.
Not only that, but people have been inspired to do matched album covers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty funny.
It's pretty
Sure.
funny. Yeah. Pretty funny.
I saw it and thought I should do that one, but I'm like, well, I still want to do Sam's black and white album covers, and I still have to do Sam's Americana tag, which is recorded and is on my computer for 5 weeks now. I just haven't edited it yet. So my apologies, Sam, if you watch this. I'm just a horrible procrastinator, but I like the mismatch album covers, and I'm like, I can do that one, I can do that one. I'm well intentioned. Will I actually do it?
It's a lot of work.
Who knows? What about you, Daryl? 17 feet of snow and the ice roads are still open.
17 feet of snow, but I finally got around to videotaping myself crossing the river. So I'm going to try to post a video that incorporates it somehow. And the reason that I went over the river today is because my 2 youngest children cost me a friggin' fortune at the dentist.
Oh.
That's lots of fun.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, for two pulled teeth and one. So my son had got knocked down playing basketball on the basketball court a few years ago. So he chipped his one front tooth, and every now and again it'll break off again, and you got to go get it repaired. So for two pulled teeth and a chipped tooth replacement was $800.
Oh,
It's like,
Yeah, that sounds right.
yeah.
Jesus. Everyone
But
thinks we have free health care up here
Yeah.
on certain things. On other things, it's very expensive. So, yeah, fun. Fun. I
Other
gotta
than
go.
that, I mean, things are going well up here.
Good.
Nothing new. I'm on March break, like Brian's kids, and I'll be heading out on the train tomorrow to go to a hockey tournament. So here's to hoping the highway's not closed.
Nice. Hey, Morton, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Spring's got to be right around the corner for you. You all right? You'll be wearing shorts probably next week. First thing I do is watch the weather. I pull up the weather app on my phone every day, and I'm like, okay, today is the last day that is, because the Weather Network goes up to 14 days. Okay, today's the last day where there's negative temperatures. It's going to be above freezing for the next 14 days on the Weather Network. So I'm like, come on, only got about this much snow. Let's get it out of here. I'm done with this.
Speaking of shorts weather, Rob, I got a question for you, and it's not music related. What were your thoughts about Venezuela winning the World Baseball Championship?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts. The only team I wanted to win more, obviously, was Canada.
Yeah.
But realistically, that wasn't happening. And when the States made the final, I'm just like, okay, we lost the World Juniors and we lost both of the Olympic hockey medals. So I'm like, I don't care who wins, as long as the Americans don't win. My apologies to the American friends that are watching, but listen, we're a little sore, so just bear with us.
Yeah.
And I just thought that there was some sweet, sweet poetic justice that the team that defeated America was Venezuela. After the shit that Venezuela is going through because of America, there's something poetic about that. So hats off to you, Venezuela. And the one Blue Jay on Team Venezuela. So very excited. I was glad to see it. I didn't catch all of it, but good game. And now we can get back to regular baseball. And opening day is next Friday, I think. The 27th, I think. Next Friday. Opening day in Toronto. I think we're playing. I remember who we're playing. We're playing somebody, obviously. I can't wait. So, sorry. Yes, Trevor. Because certain people in America don't lump us all in. I didn't mean you specifically. You understand. I meant a certain percentage of your political administration. Let's put it that way. Baltimore. Cool. I know what I am doing that day. I will not be working that day. I will be sitting in front of my big screen TV right over there watching baseball. Can't wait. 5 more spring training games. Yes. I like the spring training games, but, I mean, spring training this year for the Jays has been – who cares? Because half the team has been away at the World Baseball Championship, and, we're just playing all the money. So we've been just getting our ass handed to us all spring training. But that's okay. Doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to opening day. So. Very excited. Very excited. Sorry, I got to lubricate the throat. I think I'm coming down with whatever my son had the last few days. So, thoughts on the spring hats? My wife thinks they look very pretty because they have the weird. This is not spring training hat, but they have this weird like spring training flower thing coming out. All the teams do. I don't know. Not my cup of tea. What I got to get, kind of weird, exactly. What I want to get is it's the Jays' 50th anniversary this year, so you can buy all the team hats. So like the retro hat, the blue one that they wear every day, the alternate, all of them with on the. This is actually the 40th anniversary one from 10 years ago, but they have like a Blue Jays 51 now. So I got to get one or two or five of the Jays 50 hats. I got a hat problem. I mean, this is the only one you guys see me wear because it's the only one that sits in my office. I have probably a dozen of these upstairs. So when I go somewhere, it's like, which one of these Blue Jay hats am I going to wear? I also do have a Montreal Canadiens one down here too, which is sitting on top of Darth Vader, and I just dropped it on the floor. Oh, Jays versus Athletics. Okay, right on. All right, but we're not talking baseball. I can talk about baseball all day, and no one else cares about it, so we'll skip it. We are talking record collecting pet peeves tonight. I don't know about you guys, but my list was lengthy. So we may not show. I mean, I pulled some records as they pertain to some of my pet peeves, but it could be pet peeves about the records themselves. It could be pet peeves about the hobby. It could be pet peeves about the vinyl community. It could be however you interpret that question. So I'm sure we'll have a bunch that will overlap. So we will try and do without offending anybody this evening. That's certainly not. This is all in good fun, but at the same time, they are still pet peeves nonetheless. We're going to put Brian on the hot seat because he's our guest. We always let our guests go first out of Canadian politeness. So
Right.
This could be your biggest pet peeve. It could be a no, whatever, however you want to do it, in no particular order, whatever you want to do. Take it away, Brian.
Well, to be honest, when I read the email, the first thing that came to mind was vinyls and vinyl players instead of turntable. But I thought, as long as people are getting into the hobby, maybe those are new people. I'm totally fine with that. So I went with something else for number one, and this I think is the biggest pet peeve I have, and that is quality control on new presses. Maybe you guys have the same feeling, but just as an example,
come here. Hold on 1 second, Brian.
Yeah.
Look,
Sure.
everybody. Hold on. There's Mrs. Northern Revolutions, everybody.
Hello.
That's my wife, Kim. This is the first time and only time she's ever appeared on a camera before. And she goes, and the only time she will ever appear on camera. Yes, dear. All right. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I was just saying, quality control on new pressings. And
Yep.
I have to say, you probably have this on your list as well, because I said to someone in a comment a little while ago that I think I have returned more records in the last year than I had in the first 35 years of record collecting. Just to give you an example. So here's one. This is Peter Gabriel. It's called Scratch My Back and I'll Scratch Yours, a double collection. And just an example of some things that I've encountered, but not the only thing, is if you look at this label, you can see it's not applied properly. And so the stylus will run over the paper label if you don't get it to it in time. That's just one example. But I mean, other examples are just noisy presses. I bought a Black Sabbath box set, and every record in it was scratched, like not audible scratches. Just the whole thing was a mess. It looked like someone had just scratched it up, but weirdly it played fine. But the other weird thing about that set is that there were two copies of one record, and one record was actually missing. So they put double of one. I think record 4 was doubled, and they missed it, a different record. Another example, I bought a Death Cab for Cutie record a while ago, which had so much surface noise, it was impossible to listen. Just an insane amount of surface noise, brand new. That one, some things I can return. Usually you can return it. I returned the Black Sabbath box, but the one I got back was similarly scratched, like just insane. So those are just some examples, but every record I buy that's new, it seems like there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to get something wrong with it. It could be a subtle warp. It could be noise. And a record I just bought last week, again, has noise between the tracks that sounds worse than 50-year-old records in my collection. So I don't really get what's going on. I don't think it's a colored vinyl issue. It's just bad quality control. And I do remember I had a record when I was younger. It was an Elton John record, and there was a little piece of paper that said inspected by 2. So I think records used to be closer, they had more scrutiny on records back in the day. Someone would look at it. Obviously, I don't know if they played them, but they looked at it visually and inspected it. And, the only record I ever returned, when I was a teenager, I did return a Dire Straits record because it had little pits all over it. But after that, nothing. I didn't send a single thing back until recently, quite recently, last maybe 2 years or so. And it's really frustrating because, records are expensive now. So, some mistakes will get through, obviously, but that's what I find the most frustrating thing about collecting now is just the quality control. It's probably on your list too. So
absolutely on my list. I was when I was thinking about it, and I'll get Tim and Daryl's thoughts in a sec. I was like, well, maybe the quality control issue is, the need to get records out. There's when the boom, at the height of the boom, say 7-8 years ago, there wasn't enough pressing plants, right? So
Yeah.
it's maybe it was just in the rush to get stuff out. But there's a hell of a lot more pressing plants now than there was even 3-4 years ago. But the quality control is maybe even worse than it was when they couldn't get enough records pressed. So are they just being cheap?
I'm wondering if to some degree it's like you said, there's more pressing plants, which means more employees that have to do it, but more employees that aren't trained properly. And I know that I had watched a video one time about what's that pressing plant is it in the Czech Republic or whatever? It's been around for forever, and they have some of the best pressings in the world, but it's because they've been around for so long that it's that system that was used 30,
That's the
40
one
years ago.
It's like 3 letters or something, right? It's like
Yeah.
GH, whatever. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
So
I think
I'm wondering if that's what's happened is that there's not so many, but there's a lot of like smaller pressing plants that just want to make a buck
Yeah.
in today's
you.
market,
These
maybe.
Yeah. Also, I always think about this when I'm thinking about, people talk about who mastered it. There must have been so much expertise that just retired or is no longer with us after after CDs became a big thing. And so all this expertise just left the industry and some people never came back. So
I'm actually kind of, so that this issue, like I'm going to talk about one specific one for me when it comes to quality control. But the big thing for me is like if I ever bought a record online up here and had to try to replace it, it's like, it's almost inexcusable in a world where we ship through Amazon and all this stuff, and then people have to send it back that way, right? You're not, in many cases, you're not even going to a record shop anymore. You're buying online, and then you get some warped record. Do they honor that transaction?
Yeah.
I had an experience, and I talked about it a long time ago. There's a band out of, I think, LA called Dirty Honey. They're kind of like one of those throwback 70s kind of rock bands. And I'd ordered their first album from the band's web store, autographed by the band, and I got it. And seam splits on the jacket, like the outer jacket, seam splits on the inner sleeve, obviously, scuffs and scratches on the record. And I felt bad emailing this, indie band. I guess they're still indie. I don't think they're on a major label. And I said, hey, I got this, is there anything you can do? And they were awesome. They sent me a brand new copy and actually sent my scratch copy to Alex at Beer and Vinyl. And that's why he started his channel. That was in his very first video. Good experience like that. I haven't had any that it was like, no, screw you. We're not taking it back. I think any issues that I've had have been reasonably good. What about you, Tim? Get many defective records?
Oh yeah, there's tons. I didn't want to pull it out, but that big Beatles box that was re-released over the summer,
right?
Nothing but problems. Like my Please Please Me, like you were showing your label there, the Please Please Me label was just like a cat just took its claw and right across the Please, like on side one.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then the White Album, the fold, like how they fold in.
Yeah.
The sleeve.
Yep.
Those were all unglued.
Oh no.
It was a disaster. And
that's big money for that.
And it's something you can't really return.
No.
Something like that.
Oh man, that would be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I still wish I had them on a box. I have all the records. I bought them individually the first time, but I don't have the box with the book in it.
Yeah. But there's a whole bunch of other examples. Like I think like the whole 180 gram thing. Like I feel like the thicker, like the more wax you get, the more dirt gets in there. And I think that's where it's a bugger to clean.
I think there's a bit of a misconception that 180 means it's better. Not necessarily.
I mean, there's more track for the needle to read. Like I get that.
Sure.
but you're going to get more dirt, more like paper sleeves.
Oh.
Yeah, paper sleeves.
You know, the good way to solve that is if you go to Vinyl Storage Solutions and use the promo code Northern10 and get some good quality inner sleeves and save yourself 10% on your first order. Haven't done one of those plugs in a long time.
Yeah.
Thanks to those people that do. I got 2 commissions on it this week. So thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm making tens of dollars from Vinyl Storage Solutions. Brian from Tokyo, how you doing, my friend? Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're talking record collecting pet peeves this evening. So Brian led off with quality control, because that's one I think that bugs all of us. So, Daryl, Tim, which one of you wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right.
Here you go.
Let me supersize you.
So the first thing immediately that I thought of, you can't really show an example, but when you go to a record store and they have, they have their price on the record, which is, it's one thing to put it. A lot of places they put them on the record. A lot of places they put them on the sleeve, right? They provide an outer sleeve, but a lot of time, they put the price on the record, and they price it depending on how it's graded, whatever. And you bring it home. You take I'm a victim. I do this all the time, and it happens a lot. Where you take the price off, and it covers very strategically covers a blemish on the record, like a marker or a scuff, or the cover's been torn in that one little spot, and they'll put the price sticker over top of. You take the record home, you take the price tag off, and then you just bought a damaged record. Like it happens to me more than you'd think.
That happened to me last week, actually, or 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to the point where I removed the price sticker, and okay, yeah. So it's just one of those when you go to a record store. Like that happens to me a lot. So that's a pet peeve of mine.
I'm just getting tangent to that because it's related. I was at a record show this weekend in my hometown, small show, but there was a vendor there, and I'm not going to name the vendor because it's a well-known store in Southern Ontario. And they had a table there, and this store has been in business since I was a kid. And they had a table there. None of their records were sleeved. And every bin, they had a big, like a placeholder in the back of the bin with their logo on it and their website. Like they promoted the shit out of their table. Not a single record was sleeved. And every single one of them had the price sticker stuck directly on the jacket of the record. I'm like, you buttheads have been in business for 40 years. You should know better. And they had 2 or 3 bins that were like collectible or whatever. And there were a few albums in there that were $100, $150, and the price sticker was right on the jacket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not even going to look at your shit. If you're that inconsiderate, you're not even worth my time.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, if the price sticker's been on there for a while, like if the record just doesn't sell and you take it, then it discolors the record.
Right.
Yeah, that drives me nuts.
Or when you peel it off, you could risk, taking some of the jacket with it.
Yeah. These
so
older
then you got to like use the blow dryer to get it off or the lighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it was not The Beat Goes On. Right. It was a independent record store. But I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm not going to badmouth anybody. So yeah, price stickers. That's a good one, Tim. All right. What gets your goat, Daryl?
Okay, I had debated whether I was going to start with this or not, but I'm going to do it because I don't care. And my biggest pet peeve, and this is music in general. This doesn't mean the VC. This doesn't mean this is in general. But I'm going to be straight up and say that audiophiles, it's just the whole concept of audiophile and your music is shit because you're not buying the latest master pressing and all this kind of. Do I really need an audiophile copy of, I had to start off with this. I mean, really, do I need an audiophile copy of Glass Tiger just to fit in? No, I listen to music because I like listening to music. I mean, I have a Bose speaker system attached to my record player. That is my sound system. And I mean, I get it. I get that the audiophile thing is there, and to each their own when it comes to that. If that's what you like to do, and you like to buy the master discs and all that, then to each their own. But it's when you, and we've talked about this idea of gatekeeping, and just, you're not part of the community, or you're not really a true music fan if you don't buy into that system. And I think that to me is probably the biggest issue. And I'll use this as an example. I mean, some people might argue, I don't know, this is an OG pressing of U2's War, may or may not sound better than an audiophile pressing of U2's War. So I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that some pressings are definitely better, on those audiophile pressings and stuff like that. But does it mean that somebody who's not collecting those particular pressings are lesser in the industry? That is it just gets me. And we obviously, for the sake of the show and stuff tonight, I mean, we all know examples of channels and companies and stuff like that act like that. Does it mean that you're a lesser collector because of that? I don't understand it, and it's kind of demeaning in some cases. Not everybody can afford that.
Trevor, I got to give you the star here, because that is I love that. That's fantastic. Daryl and I sort of chatted about this through text. I agree. I mean, listen, there are people that are audiophiles, and I have friends of mine that are in this community that are audiophiles. That's fine. I think there's two components to that, right? There's the audiophile part, and there's the audiophiles that kind of act as gatekeepers, right? And they're different. I have a couple good friends that are audiophiles, and they are cool. They're never going to criticize what I'm listening to, what kind of system I have, and that's fine. And I do not understand the need to have a stereo that costs $20,000. I think that's absolutely bonkers. You stay in your lane and you do what you like to do, and that's cool, and we can all get along. It's when the people, like Daryl says, that start to be judgmental. They're like, you're not really a music fan unless you spend $150 on a UHQR. Never in my life will I buy a UHQR, because I just don't understand the point. I think there's a distinction between, audiophiles or stereophiles, right? The people that have to have the $200 gold-plated stereo cables with the special connectors on them, and they got to be hovering off the floor with anti-gravity boosters so that there's no friction. If that's your thing, cool. My thing is music. My thing isn't even necessarily I like the music. I just prefer to listen to it on vinyl. And I think my takeaway from all of it is do what makes you happy, and let the person next door do what makes them happy. Who the hell are we to judge how we consume what we consume? So I agree, Daryl. I don't understand the audiophile thing. My ears aren't good enough. I have tinnitus and my ears are shot, so I couldn't hear the difference half the time anyway. But if you want to be an audiophile, cool. If you want to be just a record fan, cool. You don't need to be a gatekeeper. So I agree with you, man. Brian, Tim, any thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about the sort of MoFi revelations that there was digital in their production chain that happened a while ago, and people were claiming they could hear the difference between something that had digital and something that didn't. I don't know how that's possible, but I think in many cases you're going to find an original pressing that was all analog may sound better than a more recent pressing. So I don't spend money on MoFi pressings. I don't see the point. I'd rather buy 3 or 4 records or 5 records for the price of one of those. So I don't get that either. Strange.
Tim?
I have a few MoFi pressings, and I'll test, like I'll say 9 times that I have maybe 5 or 6, and my father has a few. I've heard a few others, and I'd say 9 times out of 10 that they're good. They're better. They are. They're mixed better. They sound better. They're engine whatever. But in terms of like listening to like my stereo system, I've invested a little. It's not like top of the line by any means, but like it's pretty decent. But like my ears don't like I don't have dog ears. I'm not going to start spending $10,000 on just the wire. You know, like that's when it becomes maybe a hobby rather than
That's a whole separate hobby, I think.
It's a whole separate hobby.
Yeah.
Like how much does it really like the difference between $1,000 system and let's say a $4,000 system? You can sort of tell. You can tell between $1,000 speaker and a $5,000. But once you start getting like $10,000, 15, 20, like I don't know, I find it harder to tell. And it depends on the room you're in. It depends on what you're playing. It depends on who you're playing it for. It depends on the space. Like it's the spacing of the speakers have to be a certain way. I don't know.
I think all that matters is people are getting into the hobby and buying records, which makes more record plants open, makes more labels put stuff out on vinyl, makes easier for us to buy records. Who cares whether it's some university age girl that's buying 10 different color variants of Taylor Swift? Spoiler alert, that's coming up soon. And playing it on a Crosley. Who gives a shit? They're buying the music and they're getting into the hobby, and that's good for all of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but yeah, I see both sides. I'm playing devil's advocate, but I don't get it myself either.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Whose turn is it now? Is it my turn? My turn. Yeah. All right. Okay. This is the first one that popped into my head only because I mentioned it a couple weeks ago or whenever we talked last. I hate fourth side etchings, and especially hate when they put it on the hype sticker like it's a selling feature. Fuck off. So
I just showed you one 2 weeks ago on your channel.
I think maybe that's what inspired me. And I have a few. I just pulled this one. I don't even know if this is going to show up on camera. This is a great band that I love, and I shouldn't shit on this band because I'm friends with two of the guys in this band. This is Cuff the Duke. Their album Morning Comes. Fantastic record. But on side 4, there is an etching. I don't know. Sort of. You can kind of see that.
You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty. But I go, what the hell's the point? So the point is there's not enough material to fill up 4 sides of a record. Okay. So with this particular album, there is 4, 5, 6, 11 songs. You're telling me you couldn't put 11 songs in one disc?
Yeah.
You probably could. If you're going to spread them out like that, then find 1 or 2 more songs to chuck in there, be it a demo, be it a live something, but fill up that 4th side. Or if you're not going to fill up the 4th side, don't make it sound like you're getting an etching, like that's part of it. Oh, wow, I'm getting an etching. Like, 8 4th side etchings.
The next thing you're going to do is have different etchings, so you have to collect all the variants.
Bad enough we have this color variant problem. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, man.
So my question is, Rob, does what bothers you more, those or picture discs?
Oh, these, at least picture discs, you can play them. They don't sound great. They're interesting to look at, but in etching, you can barely see what it is because you gotta get it in the right.
You gotta hold it to the light. Yeah.
I have a Bryan Adams etching I should have shown, but I didn't. So.
Yeah, it is weird. I was thinking of King Crimson, some of their re-releases, they filled up the 4th side with extra tracks. They just found, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just pet peeve.
Yeah.
It's real first world problems. The guys complaining there's an etching. I know I'm complaining. A lot of bigger problems in the world, but just a pet peeve. It just annoys me. Like, find something else to put on there, or put it on one disc. And we're going to get to this probably because it's on my list, that Oftentimes, an album doesn't need to be spread out among 4 sides. Yes, I know it gives more room for the less intergroove distortion. I understand all of that, but we'll get to that. So,
Yeah.
Don't show the Brian Adams. The channel might get deleted. Yeah. I'm not going to give Brian Adams any lip service. Okay. Back to the top. Brian.
But yeah, just because I noticed it, Tim, this is what exactly we're talking about. There's this damage here, and there's a price sticker right over top of it.
That's a perfect example. That's a
but I'm gonna go for some things that record stores do that irritates me. So there's a store in town called Cops Records, and every single record.
Is that in King? Are you in Kingston?
No, Toronto.
Okay.
Every single record they sell, they leave the original inner sleeve in there, but they then put the record in this paper sleeve with this stamp on it that has their ownership, like Cops Records. So every single record in their store, you will find the original inner sleeve, but this one is always there. And these are terrible because they have dust and whatnot. I hate them. So I have a whole stack of these because I don't know what to do with them. Like, I would like to put them in polyline sleeves. Sometimes I just put it back in the original sleeve, and then when I have a chance, I might put a polyline sleeve in there. But these are just useless to me. I don't understand why they do that. It just drives me crazy. And another store in town, which doesn't exist anymore, but they did this. It was a great record store, Short Stack Records, but they're out of business now. And these are polylined, so they replace the original sleeve. It was just a generic sleeve. They put this in, polyline sleeve with their stamp on it. If it was a record that had a different inner sleeve, they would leave it in there, but add this one, which is pretty strange. Like, it's in its expense, and this is on both sides too. Like, why? And then you'll find these records in other stores. Oh, this used to be sold by Short Stack Records. Now it's in like a different record store.
Didn't Short Stack do that because they would ultrasonically clean all their used records?
They would.
When they put it back, they would put it in that sleeve and put their stamp on it.
Maybe that's true.
I think that's what it was, because I bought a couple records there when you and Chris and I went.
Yeah.
Years ago. Yeah.
I just find it. That's not as bad as the Cops one. I don't get these because no one wants these.
No.
So I don't really understand it. And the actual thing that's sort of sleeve related is a great record store, Sonic Boom. All their new stock is in these ones with the fold over. They put this stupid theft detection device here, which you can't get off unless you cut it out or rip it. And these things last exactly one use. And sometimes in the store, you put it back in, it tears. So these always tear down the side, whatever. So if you want to use these, you can't, because they will tear the second time you put the record back. And I complained to them. I said, "Why do you use these things? They're not good to anybody." Stuff downstairs, I think they take it out of here and put it in a regular sleeve, but up in the new used stock, they always use this, and they're terrible. They must cost nothing. They're flimsy, and this thing is irritating because you have to cut it out if you want to use it, and then they don't last anyway. So that's 3 things about sleeves that record stores do that I don't really like. Drives me crazy.
The solution to that is to go to vinylstoragesolutions.ca and use promo code Northern10 to get 10% off your first order of some of the best record sleeves you can get.
Fantastic.
Just saying. I'm with you. I don't get the Cops thing, why they put those crappy paper sleeves in there. I mean, it's cheap. I guess that's why they do it. Maybe they clean it and put it in the cheapest sleeve.
I don't think they clean them, though. I'd be surprised.
And why the hell even bother?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
Crazy. Scott's joining us tonight. How you doing, Scott? Welcome, my friend. We're talking vinyl record collecting pet peeves tonight. So, Tim, what annoys you?
Let's address the elephant in the room, metaphorically speaking or figuratively speaking, whatever the proper word is. But I mean, come on. Space. I'm running out of space, and I don't know what to do.
Buy a bigger house.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve.
That's your pet peeve, right? Boxing
them up. They're bloody heavy.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw a meme, as we all do on the internet, don't know, Facebook, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And it said it was a cartoon. It had two people, and one of them said, "I love vinyl for the expense and the inconvenience,"
Yeah.
which is exactly true. It is the least convenient format available. It takes up a lot of room, and yeah. But there's something about it that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So,
and my sign stuff is just getting out of control. Like
I keep wondering, like, and I'm sure Brian's kind of in the same boat here. I mean, any of us, like, if we decide or choose that we want to leave and move, like, for me to get these things out of here is going to be, it's funny. Like, when I moved up here, I came up here with a little Kia Cephia car and a couple of boxes, and now I've got an entire house to move. And 18 cubes of records. I agree with you. That is a huge. It's not only is it a pet peeve, it's actually a big concern and a worry of mine, because I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, but, Tim, just related to that though, I find it interesting that back in the 80s, a record was a defined width. It was very thin, but new pressings are always thicker. So sometimes you can fit 2 or 3 records in the space of a new record. So space is an issue, and you're running out of it because records are thicker, right?
Yeah, no,
I think.
Well, that's all that. Yeah, with all this 180 gram now, like everything is just bulky.
Yeah. Gatefolds. Yep.
Thicker cardboard too, I think. Yeah. In some cases.
Yep. Merlin hoarders. Well, this is about maybe 2. I still have about another third. Like, this is only about, well, not only, but I'd say there's about 1,200, 1,300 records here. And then there's like 5 boxes of signed stuff over there, which is not even in this room. Like, yeah.
We can help you with that. Just send them to us, 1 box each, and we'll keep them for you.
Yeah, I've got almost 6 diamond boxes of just signed records.
Jesus. Wow. I have 2 4x2 Cadillacs and 1 2x2, and I have 2 cubes left to fill with records.
Yeah.
And when that day comes, it won't be buy new records. It will be get rid of some records I don't listen to.
Yeah.
If I want to replace them with something else. I have decided that my record collection stops at 20 cubes. That's it.
Yeah. That's by the way. Yeah, I got to start purging for sure.
But Ryan's saying we have nothing. How big's yours? This sounds terrible. How big is yours, Ryan?
There's always a bigger fish. Yeah.
There's always a bigger fish. Yeah. Yeah. Mine's to be honest, mine's modest. Like, I've got 900 records, and I have continuously bought records since the 90s. Like, I don't buy a lot. I only buy stuff I'm going to listen to. And I was looking at it last night because I was sitting here bored, and I'm like, how many records in here could I get rid of because I don't listen to them? And it's not very many. So can't listen to them all that frequently because, it's like 3 albums a day, every day to get through the whole collection in a year. A lot of the stuff I listen to digitally when I'm out in the car because I'm in sales, so I'm on the road a lot. But there's Richie. Hey, Rich, I'm definitely not the guy that has records in every room. I bet you are, sir. So, yeah, space. I can see why that's a pet peeve, Tim. All right, Daryl.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go back to Brian's first pet peeve, and that's the whole quality control. And for me, one of the big ones, I don't know what it is. So I've got an Audio Technica 120, I think it is. And this is this is a good example of this. So I've shown this on the show before. I bought this for Canada Record Store Day. It's the Harem Scarum Anthology Volume 1. It's greatest hits. But the biggest thing is everything is really good, minus, and you'd never be able to tell, but for me, it's that spindle hole. That spindle hole on a lot of these records now. And I'm wondering if it has to do with the weight of the records and stuff like that. But nobody should have to be forced to buy a $80 to $100 reamer just to make the spindle hole wider when it should have been done in the first place. And I think for me, when it comes to quality control, that is the issue that I have come across the most, are records that don't have spindle holes big enough for the actual spindle itself. And because I don't have a reamer, I've had to take like a little knife and try to just barely, because you don't want to damage it, you don't want to ruin it and put a hole that's way too big. So that for me is a big one. And on top of that is like I get the importance of them, but the price for like the weight that you can put the center weight and stuff like that. I mean, I understand the purpose of it, but you shouldn't have to buy those things if quality control was done in the first place properly.
Yeah. So your reamer suggestion. So I've had a few records where the spindle hole wasn't big enough, and I MacGyvered a solution. So I have a lot of tools. I'm a tool guy. I have a massive amount of tools in my garage, massive amount of tools on the other side of the wall where my workshop is. I took a rat tail file. You know what a rat tail file is? Just a small cylindrical. Yeah. I'll show you in a second. It's a little bit smaller. It's tapered, but it's just big enough that what I do is I put it into the hole of the record until the record gets tight, spin the record a couple times, it widens it just enough without causing any damage to anything, and then it fits perfectly on the spindle. You can get them for like $4 at Canadian Tire. I'll grab
a lot better than 80 to 100 for a reamer, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think I have it here.
I've experienced this too, in case you're wondering. It's funny.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I know it's just, once again, it's like a first world problem. It seems kind of weird that I'd be complaining about a spindle hole, but for me, it's the most annoying thing, because if you put the record on, trying to get it off is a bigger problem, because then what happens is you start bending it. You've really got to like jimmy it so it doesn't bend, break. Pain in the ass. This might be the first time that we've ever had somebody come on the show and take out a rat tail. What did he call it?
Rat tail file, I think.
File.
I can't find it. It's around somewhere. It's like a woodworking file, but it's round.
Yeah. No, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And I was just saying while you were out, Rob, that the bigger issue, the hole is the big problem. The other issue is getting the record off the turntable, because then you start bending the record when you're trying to get it off. It's annoying.
Yep.
First world issues.
Big problems we have. Big problems. Look who's here. John. How you doing, buddy?
Who's talking?
It's never a good sign when you have to use a toolbox on your record collection. Fair point. I agree. All right. My next pet peeve. One of our panelists likes to have this. Ryan. Shrink wrap. I hate shrink wrap. I do not understand why people leave shrink wrap on the record. I swear one of these days I'm going to get Northern Revolution's t-shirts made that say grip it and rip it. Because I'm just like, why are you keeping the shrink wrap on? Cut the hype sticker out, stick it in, who cares? But keeping the shrink wrap, I don't understand. To me, I had an analogy, but I'll keep this PG. To me, when you have the shrink wrap on the record and you never actually touch the jacket, to me, I'm not actually interacting with that physical object. Take the shrink wrap off and put it in a record sleeve. I'm not criticizing you, Brian. Because I'm always bugging you. I'm like, Brian, take the shrink wrap off. So I'm not criticizing. Do you, man. I just don't understand why people keep the shrink wrap on. The other thing too is that sometimes when the shrink wrap is tight, over time, it can actually, cause some warping and some dish shapement. I know that's not a word, of the jacket. So I don't know. It feels like I'm not consuming the actual product if the shrink wrap is still on, especially if it's a gatefold. So rip that damn shrink wrap off. There you go.
Well,
I'll ask you, Brian. Why do you keep the shrink wrap on?
I don't always keep it on. So if there's a hype sticker, I like to keep it on.
Right.
But if it's a gatefold, I take it off. I've only had one issue with the shrink wrap shrinking even more. It's with the old 12-inch single I had since the 80s, and it was in one of those flimsy, like UK style top loading record sleeves. It was very thin cardboard, and it did start to shrink and disfigure the record. But I find most pressings, the jackets are sturdy enough that doesn't happen. It's the only time I've ever encountered that. But I think if there's a hype sticker on there, I like to leave it on. I don't know. It's a good question.
Could you enlarge me there, Rob? Because I want to.
Absolutely.
It's the only record I've ever had happen. So I bought this used. This is a local guy from North Bay, and there was still shrink wrap on it. It must have been years, but I don't know if you can see the middle of it there.
Oh yeah.
I can't get that off.
No.
I don't know if it was like in a house that had, some kind of heating situation or whatever. I have tried everything and I don't want to damage it, but it's a weird circumstance in which the shrink wrap actually melted to the record cover, the record sleeve. So I'm not going to try to get it off, but try to find a copy of this sucker. It's the only one I've ever seen. I bought it, like I said, it was a local guy from North Bay, but kind of a weird situation.
I get people wanting to keep the hype sticker. I get it because sometimes they look cool. It helps you identify, what's special about that record. It also lets you know that there's a bonus fourth side etching. So that's a real plus. I don't even care about hype stickers generally. I've kept a few, but I've just cut them out and then just stuck it inside the jacket. I guess I can understand it from the perspective of a hype sticker, I guess. But for me, again, Chance knows where I'm going with the analogy that I'm not going to say, but just you want to actually experience the record. So to me, I gotta take the shrink wrap off. And I'm only talking
Rob
about
is circumcising his records now.
I'm only talking about records. So, Record Hound saying I would hate his collection. Lots of shrink. Hey man, come over. We'll have a shrink wrap ripping party. Get it off of there. Grasshopper TV saying I pull it off and sometimes restick the sticker to the cover. Does that freak it? Oh well, it freaked me out because I don't stick anything to the cover. But yeah. Trevor, he's going to bed because he's got a 4 a.m. meeting. Good Lord, man. Thanks, Brian, for the Leonard Cohen.
Hey, no problem.
And yeah, we go NC-17 when John shows up. So. Glad to see John tuning in. That's awesome. Missed you, buddy. Mm-hmm. All right. So, moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, shrink wrap, grip it, and rip it. Now it's Brian's turn.
Well, I shuffled the order given the last topic. All right. There's shrink wrap here, and there's other here. So this is a new order record, a live record. It's not in a gatefold. It's just a single sleeve. And believe it or not, there are 3 records in here. Now, I've seen a lot of people complain about having 2 records in one sleeve. This has 3. And it's not a gatefold. I have a Leonard Cohen live set, which is a triple set. And the jacket disintegrated. All the seams both broke open. I re-glued it. I don't know if it's going to hold or not. But there's just too much weight, I think, in one single sleeve here for this. So I don't understand the reason for that. Like, I guess it's cost cutting in some respects to have only a single sleeve. I'm sure a gatefold costs a lot more, but it is funny to me that they would put 3 records in something that's really flimsy. And of course, another solution to it when you have a 3 record set is to do this horrible thing where you have the 3rd record in the middle and you have to dig it out from the sides. This drives me crazy too, because you have to sort of lift up you can't see it, but you have to kind of torque up this edge of this cardboard here to get it out of there. I can't even get it out of there. So that is crazy to me. I don't know what the solution is for a 3 record set. I don't like either of these solutions, the record that's stuck in the middle or the 3-in-1 sleeve, but it's always bothered me. Even double records, that they put both records in one sleeve. Kind of seems like a crazy thing to do to me, but to do to record collectors. But I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you think about that.
Sam's joining us. How you doing, Sam? We're talking pet peeves tonight.
I think where it becomes an issue, Brian, is if they're too tight in the sleeve. That's the big issue, is when it starts to get too tight that it starts to rip the seams.
Yeah. I know this is not new. They've been doing this for a long time. Like I have records from the 80s where they've done it well, but it just, yeah. Maybe this is worse with the record in the middle that's hard to get out. I don't know. But some people don't even some people don't keep their records in the sleeves as well. They put them behind, which is another topic altogether, but I don't do that. Yeah.
Can I run off that comment?
Please, you have the floor, sir.
This is perfect. So this is it was sort of one of my pet peeves, but it's just what you said there just is a perfect segue. So here's a record, okay? Paul McCartney's Memory Almost Full, okay? Now look at this. Look how stupid this is. So I don't ever want to take this out again, because look what happens. Okay? Everything.
Oh.
Fucking. This is the sleeve. It's a giant ass picture. Like, that's the sleeve.
Wow.
I mean, give him marks for creative packaging, I think. No?
Yeah.
Maybe?
So the record falls right out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you a proponent of putting your record in behind the jacket? Or what's your thoughts on that?
Am I what?
Are you a proponent, like Brian says, of people who put their record in behind the jacket? Because that way you would never.
I try to. That's something I've been doing the last maybe year or two.
Yeah.
I've been doing that. But just the fact that, like, this is not even a sleeve.
Yeah.
It's actually a poster.
I have an album that is, you kind of got to do the origami thing to get the record out. It doesn't come out. You got to take it out and unfold a whole bunch of shit just to take the record out. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do not put the record behind. I leave it in the jacket because I want to see the track listing on the back of the album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I do it. Okay. What's Scott is saying more than 2 records should be a box set design. I'd agree with that. Unfortunately, that probably jacks up the price, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking when Brian, though, was talking about three records in a, call it a record slip jacket, I guess you could call it. The flip side of that, which kind of irritates me, is albums where there's one record, but they have this big elaborate gatefold that is, a 1/4 inch thick, and you go, for what?
Yeah.
For what? There's one record.
And then the gatefold, you open up the gatefold, and it's just lyrics in the middle.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Hold on. I just picked this up at the record show on Sunday. I don't know, supersize myself. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Sam's on here, so he'll have a conniption fit that I'm going to say anything bad about Tom. Pretty good album. But it's a single disc. It's fairly thick as an album because it's a gatefold. One disc. You open up the gatefold, you get this on the inside. What for? I'm betting that added $5 to the price of the record just because of. I know Sam likes this record a lot. And it's pretty good, Sam. I got to admit, it's better than I liked it. I like it better than the first time I heard it. But my beef is not about the music. My beef is about. There's not even a track listing on the back, or is there? No track listing on the back. So we get a gatefold for what?
I couldn't get into that record. The last Petty record that I really enjoyed was Mojo. I really liked Mojo. But the last 2, I think, there's 2 more after that, I think. Couldn't get into as much.
Yeah. I haven't heard a ton of his later. I only bought the record show I was at was a total bust, but I knew this was on vinyl. I just hadn't seen it in the wild, and it was a really good price. It was used, but I don't think it's ever been played, so I grabbed it and glad that I did. But flip side of Brian's argument: 3 records in a single slip, or 1 record in a gatefold that has no business being a gatefold.
Yeah, no kidding.
Scott's saying, or just a monochromatic color in the middle. Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to make it a gatefold, make it a gatefold for a reason. I don't know that adds any artistic value to the album. Maybe. Sam's saying Mojo in 2010,
What?
Hypnotic Eye in 2014, Mud Crutch in 2016. There you go.
Well, maybe that heralds back to earlier days.
When did this one come out?
2016. Is that Mud
No,
Crutch?
this is because Sam
Mud
mentioned this one.
Mud Crutch. So Mud Crutch, wasn't that
So
like
what's this?
20,
When did this one come out?
Isn't there a copyright date on the back?
Well, this is the one that I got like ages ago.
2008, Sam says.
8? Okay.
For the
Yeah.
first one.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
There
Okay.
you go.
Oh, look. So,
Good old hype sticker. Good old hype sticker. I went out of turn on that one, but that's okay. I'll just get my turn this time. So it's Tim's turn now, is it not? Am I right?
No, he just went.
He went. All right,
Yeah.
so it's your turn. All right. Glad you guys keep me on track because
All right.
my
so
name
this-
had more than
I
3
don't know if
letters.
this
I
is.
forget how to spell it.
I don't know if this is necessarily maybe it's a pet peeve. It kind of goes along with the audiophile thing at the beginning, but there's only 1 or 2 musicians that I have in my collection where I've mainly completed their discography. So this completist idea, and I get wanting to be a completist. Primus is an example of something like that. I'd like to do that, but sometimes I just don't need it all. And there are some people that might say that I'm not a true music connoisseur, and I'm going to show 3 examples of this because I have a greatest hits album, right? I don't have every single Bon Jovi record that ever came before this. Sometimes all I need is the greatest hits. I don't need the whole thing. Or maybe there's like 1 or 2 songs off of a soundtrack. I don't need the entire discography of a specific artist when there's only 1 or 2 songs that I like on the soundtrack. But the big one, and we've talked about this many times on the show, is the whole like Hey Tell thing. Now, speaking of albums that kind of it's a cool looking thing, but this is from the 60s. If
That's
I was
cool.
to put the record in there, it's just going to fall out. But it's like a K-Tel compilation, and this one here has like some pretty cool stuff. Mainly B-sides of like Alice Cooper and Faces and Ry Cooder and stuff. Grateful Dead is on here. But I guess for me, my point is sometimes I don't need every single album in a discography just to say that I support that artist. All I need is the greatest hit sometimes. And I know that there's some people that might disagree. And I've actually been told that, well, you're not a true music fan because you don't have everything.
Goes back to your point about gatekeepers. Who decides whether you're a true? Screw off with your. If you enjoy music of any kind, you're a music fan, and that's it. Like, who cares? Even though that's not really the Bon Jovi greatest hits, I was gonna say.
No, it's the first half greatest hits.
But you know what? I have it too, and I love it. So I'm with you there.
That was my high school.
Oh yeah.
Bon Jovi experience there.
Yep. I love Bon Jovi. All right.
It's the same thing actually. If we were just before we go, it's the same thing. If I could get Def Leppard's Vault, that one there is big bucks. But if I could get that on vinyl, that would be a cool one too. Because that's all the Def Leppard I need is the Vault one. I don't need everything there.
Yep, I'm with you. All right. Scott is asking, did anyone bring up deluxe versions that only have 2 or 4 tracks? Well, sir, it's a very good thing that you mentioned that because that is in my pile, so I will do it right now. Let's do that right now. My pet peeve is when there's a deluxe anniversary edition, whatever the hell you want to call it, and sometimes they don't put anything extra on it. And I go, why should I buy it? Because it's remastered? Who cares? I don't care. But then it bugs me when they put like 2 or 3 extra tracks on it. I'm like, well, shit, now I gotta buy it because it's got stuff on it I don't have. And I'll give you an example of this done well, and an example of this done poorly. This is done poorly. I love Oasis. I've talked about these guys till the cows come home, and this is the super deluxe, not very, anniversary issue of What's the Story, Morning Glory. Album changed my life. One of the most important albums in my life. This is 3 discs. The album is on 2 discs, as it should be, because it's longer than you would need for one. And then they threw in a 3rd disc, which has 5 songs on it. And they're acoustic songs. They're fine. Like, they're okay. But then I'm like, well, I got to buy this because it's the anniversary edition, and it's got a slip cover, and it's, it's the special, and it looks different. And, hook, line, and sinker, I dropped $90 or whatever hell this was. And I love it and everything, but I'm like, I'm a fool because I just paid, again, I'll say $90 for 5 acoustic songs. I'm an idiot. So if you're going to do it, this is an example of the anniversary reissue being done really, really well. This is the Darkness Permission to Land, which I love. So this is their anniversary edition. 20th anniversary edition. The first LP is the album. The second LP is an entire LP of studio bonus tracks. The third LP is singles and B-sides. The fourth LP is 7 songs from Live at Nebworth. And then the 5th LP is 9 songs from Live at the Astoria. I have no problem justifying buying this. This was, I don't know, $120, but damn, it's 5 LPs. 4 of them I've not heard anything until I bought it. This makes sense for a deluxe anniversary edition. But I'm the sucker because actually, my wife bought me the Darkness, but I spent the money on the Oasis one because I am an Oasis completist, and I spent that money for 5 songs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, my pet peeve, but then I'm, depending on the artist, I'm stupid enough to go for it. So yeah. So there we go. Let me get caught up on a couple comments here. Sam's saying blank side 4s bother me. If you tuned in a little while ago, Sam, I was complaining about when they take side 4 and put an etching on the back because that annoys the hell out of me. Richard saying tons of pointless color variants. We are going to get to that because it is on my list. John's saying the Fat Boys 1984 debut album was reissued in a pizza box. Did it come with a pizza? That'd be awesome.
I remember the Weird Al. We were talking about the Weird Al's came in like a big accordion thing. All of his things. That thing's going for almost $2,000 though now. If you want to buy that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one.
So John's
accordion one.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It came out when what's that? Pledge Music. It came out through Pledge Music when they were still, before they went bankrupt.
John's giving a good example here. Clapton's Journeyman Deluxe had 4 extra songs. 3 of them were absolutely embarrassing. Yeah.
Sometimes isn't that sometimes a record company decision? I remember hearing about REM. There was a record reissued. I think it was Out of Time with some bonus or demos, and the band didn't want them released. They were actually upset that they were released. So, yeah, who knows?
Apparently, Brian has a Cohen set that fits in a fedora.
I wish.
And Sam's rubbing it in that he got the Oasis set for $20. Makes sense.
Amazing.
All right, back to the top. Give us something else that annoys you, Brian.
All right. Well, this goes right back to my youth when I started buying records. I don't know how old I was, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, in that sort of era. And one thing that bothered me then and still bothers me now, and I don't have a record to show you because it would literally be hundreds and hundreds of records, is when you buy the record, you spend your hard-earned money, like $7.99 or $8.99, whatever it was back in the day, and you take it home and you'd open it up, and inside there's just a plain white sleeve, no lyrics, no photos, nothing. And I'm like, this record costs $7.99, and that record costs $7.99, but that one has the lyrics in it. And this one doesn't. Drove me crazy. Still drives me crazy. You spend $40 or $50 on a record, and you open up, and there's just a plain white sleeve. Drives me. Well, sometimes it's colored, but I'm saying an inner sleeve that has nothing on it. They can't even put the lyrics in there. They don't even have like any. I mean, the production credits are often on the back. The writing credits are on the label because they can't be bothered to reprint them on the sleeve. And that has always bothered me right back from day one, and it still bothers me now. Drives me crazy. So
Yeah.
See, I remember when CDs came out and they were doing that too.
Yeah.
I hated that.
where they give you the AAA, DDD, ADD thing, those definitions, which are like, who cares? Like, why are you telling me that on every CD that you buy? Yes, CDs as well. Drives me crazy. So maybe that's just me, though.
Or now, what about the ones where they don't even give you the sleeve to put the record in? It's just like a one sheet of paper.
Yeah,
With nothing
that's-
on it.
Oh,
that
those.
sometimes
Yeah.
happens too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like liner notes. It's one of the reasons why I loved records originally, because you'd sit down with it and you'd read the liner notes, you'd look at the lyrics, and then it was kind of lost a bit with CDs for me anyway. And so I wanted to, I want to experience that. And sometimes it's just nothing to read or nothing to look at. So I don't know. It's a minor thing, but it always bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm back.
Right.
My son was ignoring my wife's repeated request to come and get ready for bed. Imagine that, 10-year-olds that don't listen.
Yeah,
Who would've thought?
amazing.
I caught the beginning of your pet peeve. Records that have nothing in them, just a plain
Yeah,
sleeve.
just plain sleeve. Yeah,
You're like, could you have put a little bit more effort into it?
I'd like the lyrics at least,
Right.
something.
Or a picture of something on the sleeve.
That's right.
Yeah. Or some credits about who played
Yeah,
the tin whistle on the, whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
I agree. All right. Tim.
Oh boy. Do I just let the credits roll?
Whatever you want, man.
Let's just let the credits roll.
Oh yeah. Okay.
How many's he got? That's 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. 6, 7, 8.
Oh.
You don't have them all, do you? 9. Oh man.
Oh my god.
My God, man. Do you feel ashamed a little bit?
So this record came out over COVID, right? And there was nothing to do. And they strategically, I don't know, like I know Taylor Swift is victim of this, but they strategically released like 3 or 4 colors over time so that you didn't have to buy 10 in one shot. Big sucker. I'm only missing like 2 colors. And I tapped out. I'm like, I'm not going to, I might as well get the last 2, but I don't know. No, I stopped. Yeah. Color pressings, multiple color pressings.
God.
Well, since you're going there, Tim, hold on.
Yeah, open up a can of worms.
Is it going to be Taylor Swift? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that was going to be my next choice, but I don't collect them. That was going to be my next choice. I was going to go with color variants as well.
Yeah. I mean, I like color. It's great, but overkill. Here we go. Yeah.
Now, I only have 4, which was all there was. In my defense, I bought them because I bought the first one. And then she had on her website, because it was a pre-order, she had these other 3 alternate colors were available for 48 hours only. And I'm like, I don't really need them. But the last time she had done a couple color variants on the previous album, and they ended up being very, very expensive. So I'm like, all right, I'll get them. They'll be expensive. Cool. Then I'll have a collectible. I don't buy records for that reason, but I'm like, hey, why not? And this was the pet peeve part. She lied to people because a week later, back by popular demand, and they were just widespread available. It's like, that is not cool. You can't tell someone, hey, it's only available for 48 hours. And then a week later, they're not available indefinitely. And that's bullshit. So that's the only artist I've ever done it for. But she is, in my opinion, the queen of this stupid color variant. I guess McCartney takes the cake, but every album of hers, there's multiple variants. And the one album she did, there was 4 different variants, and each variant had a different bonus song on it. And you're like, well, that's crap. Because if you want all the songs, then you got to buy all the variants. And I went, this is not a train I'm going to ride any further. So I'm getting off. Thanks very much. I'm out. So, you have thoughts on colored vinyl, Daryl?
Well, I was going to talk about the Queen herself as well.
There you go.
I mean, this is the only variant I've had of hers. But to kind of tail off of some of the things that we talked about earlier, like the quality control piece, for example, like if you've got 20 color variants of the same record, I think the quality control almost goes out the door. But at the same time, Rob, we've talked about this before. Some people are adamant that colored pressings and colored variants sound terrible. I don't think that they sound that bad. I mean, if you once again, you go back to the early days, I mean, what is it, the PVC or whatever it is that's used to make vinyl records. I mean, the original ones were colored or clear. Doesn't mean that it sounds worse. I mean, for sure, there are some that definitely sound terrible. But once again, it kind of goes back to, I think, what Brian was saying at the top, that quality control could prevent that. Just listen to it and make sure it doesn't sound like crap. Color variants are cool, but I think what they do is they drive up the price, because they only press so many of them, and then people go crazy over it. And then, like you're saying, Rob, it's like this exclusive thing only for so long, and then bam, it's out in the open again. And that's my pet peeve about it is, yeah, if you want to collect 100 variants of a different color, that's fine. But at what point do we say enough is enough? I mean, records are expensive enough as it is, and now this is just jacking up the price because we got to get through it all. So, yeah, that's my pet peeve on the colored variant thing.
Yep, agreed. It's I like color variants, but let me rephrase that. I like colored vinyl. If there's a black one and a colored one, I'm probably going to buy the colored one. I can't hear the difference, so I just like that they look cool. But I don't need 4 different colors. Yeah, I did this one time, which was stupid. But we all make mistakes, but I'd never do it again. And if you want to do that, though, knock yourself out. There are Swifties out there that want every colored variant of every single album, and it even got down to, like, there was one album where they used 2 different shades of green because they were pressed at different plants. Well, I got to have this green. Holy shit, people! But hey, if that's your bag, go for it. Go for it. I just don't like how Taylor misled people and suckered people. Like, that's, just be transparent about it. Go, yeah, there's 4 variants and there's another 6 coming, and whatever. But don't say it's only available for one day and then people buy it and then it's not cool. So, Richard's asking, anyone know the album with the most variants? Rich is saying, apparently there's a Green Day album with 100 variants. God, I hope not. That's crazy. Apparently,
what are your guys' thoughts on like strange variants, like the ones with liquid in them? The one that apparently claimed that they used like the blood from the band, was that Kiss or whatever it was?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I mean, to each their own, but once again, what are your thoughts on things like liquid vinyl and stuff?
Well, I think if it sounds good, it's fine. I mean, I have a glow in the dark record. I think if it sounds good, that's all that really matters to me. I don't know if I'd buy one with liquid though. That's a good question.
See,
Never
damn
heard
you
one.
guys. So I get that was going to be my next pet peeve was gimmicks, and I have one.
All right,
Okay,
you have the floor, Tim. Go for
I
it.
have one. Okay,
Oh,
it's kind of cool, eh?
Weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So now the pet peeve about this, like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I wouldn't buy it. This is probably my only one, but it came. So it comes out like they gave me the jacket. Okay, this is the new Aerosmith EP that came out, and so they were shipped like this, and I'm like, okay, well, can I? You can't put it in this. So now I've got a sleeve. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So that's a pet peeve of mine. Just like the whole, like the logistics behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got
Does
some
it,
line. I wouldn't get any more, but yeah, it's neat, eh?
when you spin it on the turntable, does the centrifugal force make the liquid go to the outside?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I always wondered.
It takes a bit going. Like it's very viscous, so it's very slow, but yeah, it's pretty.
I've never bought a liquid filled vinyl. I wanted to. You guys have heard me mention I'm a big fan of a Toronto band called Whitehorse, and they did one album that there's a limited pressing on liquid filled vinyl. It's still available in the 6 Shooter Records web store, and I want it, but I go, and I don't know what, because I have a ton of Whitehorse stuff and whatever. I'm super fan, but it's $160, and I went,
wow.
Yeah.
no, like, if a normal record is 50 and you want me to pay like 70 for a liquid filled vinyl, I probably would if it's a band I really love, like Whitehorse. But 160, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I don't know if like shit. I hate. Fuck, it's just if you hear like it's not really like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like it's like a picture disc. They don't sound great, but it's almost like a plastic. Like
Rich is saying he would take it out of the plastic. Is that plastic like the really thick plastic sleeve, like the
really thick? Yeah, like these are.
Yeah, that stuff leaches, man. That's not good to have it in those. Eh?
No,
that's the ones that picture discs come in. I took all mine out, and
what do you put them in?
So what I did, this is not a shameless plug. Vinyl Storage Solutions does now have a picture disc sleeve that is lined with their inner sleeve, but I made my own. So what I did is I ordered black cardboard record jackets off of Amazon, and I took a measurement on a picture disc that I had that was already in a sleeve like that. And I had my wife, she has one of those Cricut cutting machine things, and so she had the machine cut a hole in it, and then I put a Vinyl Storage Solutions inner sleeve in it, and that's how I keep my picture sleeve, and then it goes into a normal outer sleeve, and that way I got rid of all those thick plastic because I was so worried about them leaching through to the other records. So.
Yeah.
But, what are we saying here? Rich is saying variants are made for suckers. Yeah, to a degree they are.
This guy.
Guilty as well in certain instances. Kiss used blood in the ink. That's crazy. Little Nas X used blood in liquid vinyl. I don't think I want someone's blood. No thanks. That Curtis. Hey Curtis, how you doing, my friend? It does look cool. He wants to know how it sounds.
Oh, it doesn't sound.
Cool. All right. I've completely lost track of who's. It's a Daryl's.
It'll be Brian. It'll be Brian and then me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for keeping me on track.
Right. Well, I think
Brian.
this is something we've all circled around, but no one, I don't think, has come out and said it. This is a record from Eric's Trip, Canadian band, the East Coast.
I know them well.
Brand new record cost $24.99. And yet, if you're buying a brand new record from virtually any other artist who's not on a sort of like a bespoke label or a small label, in Canada, you're looking at minimum $35, $40, $45, sometimes $50 for one record. So how is it that this company can sell a record for $24.99? It's not the only example. There's other record labels who sell records affordably, and yet most mass-produced records from major labels are going for far more than this, sometimes double this price. It's something I've never really understood. It's the same materials. It's the same vinyl, I'm sure, sourced from whoever sources vinyl. I don't know. But why is it that, and a few years ago, I remember even back in 2013, I think a new record was like $29.99. And now they're at least $20. Well, it depends on what you're buying. But it's just weird to me that certain labels can sell their records affordably and certain labels just jack up the price to, it's like they don't want us to buy it anymore. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Going off tangent, I have to ask about that Eric's Trip record. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good if you like them. It's good. It's very grungy and noisy and discordant and
sure,
exactly like Eric's Trip.
I'm a fan of Rick White.
Yeah, for sure.
The work that he did with the Stadies and the Unintended. Love the Unintended. So I've heard a little bit of Eric's Trip, but I was just curious how that.
Well, I mean, this was recorded to 4-track cassette and then remastered for vinyl. Like, how much fidelity can you retrieve from a basement recording? So it does have that basement sound. But
I mean, it's got to have that sort of garage rock kind of like. We're not looking for high fidelity out of that. It's
pretty cool.
Good record though.
I would recommend it if you like them. Yeah, it's on the rougher edge. It's grungy, sort of early. This is the first release, so very very early. So it doesn't. Yeah, it's good if you know what you're getting into.
Yeah. I know what I'm getting into. So
yeah,
I'll have to keep an eye out for it. That's cool.
$24.99.
$24.99. That's in my budget. I can handle that. I like Curtis's point here. My biggest pet peeve is not having enough money to buy all the vinyl I want. I think that's unanimously shared amongst everybody watching this evening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Richard's saying that is capitalism at its finest. So, yeah, it seems the bigger the act, the more the record costs. Which should be the other way around because, you're making them in volume, right? An indie artist like Eric's Trip, you got to think their production costs have got to be higher. I would think. Yeah. What do I know? The answer? I know nothing. I'm just some idiot on YouTube. So, all right, whose turn is it now?
I think I butted in line, so if Daryl wants to go.
Daryl's turn.
Because I segued from the.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
Jeez, I'm
all good. So mine is it's going to tail off of Brian's directly here. Not only is the cost of a vinyl record absolutely crazy. I had conversations the other day about this, but the shipping costs to have them mailed is crazy. So
especially to you.
I recently bought Alice in Chains Tripod album from a shop. I can't remember which one it was. Southern Ontario, and it's a really cool album, really well done. The gatefold is really nice. Speaking of color variants, I guess this fits the bill of colored variant. Comes in a highlighter yellow record. But the thing is I don't think it would have mattered if I lived here in the middle of nowhere, or if I had lived anywhere, because shipping across Canada is just insane. And there's very few places nowadays that do the free shipping, like buy so many and you get free shipping. It's rare that you see this, but this particular store down south did. So I ended up buying 3 records. So Hootie and the Blowfish. And then I also bought Vertical Horizon to save on shipping. But I guess a big pet peeve, and this is out of all of our control, is the cost to ship it within Canada is outrageous.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit since I mailed anything to the U.S., but I distinctly remember the last time I shipped something to the States. It was to somewhere in California, and the price for me to ship it to California was cheaper than it was to ship it somewhere in Ontario, and that's just, it's criminal how that's done now. And I can't speak on behalf of international, guests that are watching, or those that are from the States. I don't know how much it costs to ship, but in Canada, it's stupid ridiculous.
Well, I think I've heard people say, and Sam or Richard can probably comment on it, but I think like the U.S. Postal Service has like a flat rate, for the size of package that a record is, and like they could ship it across country for like $15. I can't ship it across the city in Canada for $15.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I mean, you're paying $50 to ship it anywhere. So I'm going to the post office with a box for you tomorrow, Daryl. So we'll see. It's going to cost what it's going to cost. Who cares? That's not the point. But yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that's the reason why Discogs for me is totally out. The shipping is at least the price of the record, and often
Absolutely.
2 or 3 times the price of the record. So I can never buy from Discogs.
That's why I stopped buying stuff on eBay for the same reason.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I found some good finds on eBay over the years, or stuff that's hard to find or whatever. Too bloody expensive now.
Yeah.
I even I pre-ordered. So again, Whitehorse, the band I love from Toronto, they've got a new album coming out in May, and I pre-ordered it, and it's shipping from Mississauga to where I live, which is I could drive that in 40 minutes because I do every day. And shipping was like $18.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And going back to the record that you showed, Eric's Trip, Brian, like sometimes the cost of shipping is almost the amount of the record.
Yeah, exactly.
And forget if you're going to order something from the US, or I've ordered stuff from the UK or whatever, you not only are you factoring in the cost of shipping, throw the exchange rate on there, and then throw on that you're going to probably have to pay duties, customs duties. A $40 record ends up being like $110.
Yeah.
It's insane. So, what's Richard saying? I used to love buying vinyl from online shops in the UK. Shipping is now crazy. We're just saying the cost of shipping media mail in the US depends on the weight. A record is a little under $5, so it's even cheaper than I thought.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Curtis is saying the cheapest shipping he'll find out east is $23. Jesus.
Wow.
Crazy. All right. Does that mean it's my turn now? Am I right? I think.
Who knows? Who knows?
So I'm going to go. All right. I'm going to go. Okay. I have a pet peeve of, and I've sort of touched on this earlier, records that originally were on one disc and then they reissue them on 2 discs. So I'll give you an example. I like pulling it out of the sleeve so you can see it better. This is an original first pressing of U2's All That You Can't Leave Behind, which came out in 2000. This is a first pressing. It's kind of hard to find, a little expensive. I bought it the day it came out back in 2000. It's one record. It sounds fantastic. Then U2 remastered their catalog. And thankfully, my wife picked this up at, it was on a clearance rack at Winners of all places, or Home Sense, or one of those crazy stores that has vinyl once in a while. So she goes, "Do you want it?" And I went, "Sure." Kind of like Brian's point, this is a couple discs and a book inside a non-gatefold jacket. But this is 2 records. Okay, so they did add one song. I'll give them that. There's one song on this that's not on the original pressing of the record, but still, you're getting up every 3 songs to flip the record. You're like, I'm all about the intentional experience of listening to a record, but I'm also a lazy guy that likes to sit his ass on the couch and not have to get up every 8 minutes. You know what I mean? So, that's a little frustrating. And I see in the comments here, and this is I want to mention this because this is absolutely related to that.
Yeah.
2 times 45 RPMs. Yes, incredibly annoying. And here's one of them. This is the Fleetwood Mac Palace pressing, the 45 RPM. This album absolutely in a million years does not need to be on 2 discs. Now the audio files will go. It has to because intergroove distortion, all this other, sure, whatever. I only bought this because I am a very big Fleetwood Mac fan. And everyone of the audiophile people go, this is one of the best sounding records ever. It's even to my stupid ears, this sounds like a new album. It's incredible. So I bought it. But yeah, you're getting up every few minutes to flip it. And I just go, it doesn't need to be on 2 records. This is like one of the only audiophile records I own. But doesn't need to be on 2 albums, and it certainly doesn't need to be 45 RPM. I understand all the audio science behind it, but I don't need it to be that way. And that's just me. My opinion doesn't matter, but my pet peeve. So there we go. All right. We'll go around one more time, or maybe 2 more times. We'll see how this goes. We got a few minutes, 20 minutes left. So, Brian, what else bugs you?
Well, this is a minor point. Here's a record from Tortoise, which is really good. But it seems to me, and I could be wrong about this, but I was thinking about how some records have, it will say this side and that side, or side A and side 1, anything to not to suggest which is supposed to be side 1 and side 2. But there seems to be a lot of records recently where there's no indication on the label of what side it is. So this doesn't say side A or side B or side 1 or side 2. You've got to look at the dead wax, and you got to find like where it says A or B to figure out what side it is. I have many records now that don't tell you. And I don't know, maybe my eyes are getting worse, but I just find it weird that you have to look at the dead wax to figure out what side of the record you're on. And it strikes me as, I know it's a design issue. Maybe they don't care what side A and B is, but it strikes me as a really weird thing to do, and I don't like it. So
Yeah.
That's one that bothers me.
I don't have any that are unlabeled like that one, but there's some cryptic ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they do weird cryptic little things to figure out, oh, this is what they mean by side A. This is
there'll be
I think
2
one
dots.
Radiohead or
Yeah, those don't bother. But it's a minor thing, but I just find it weird.
It's
Weird
annoying.
choice.
Yeah. For sure.
I don't like the ones where they have a label on both sides, and on one side it's some kind of a design or a picture or a graphic or whatever, and the other side has the tracks for both sides, and it just says side A and lists the song, and side B and lists the song. Okay, but label side that's telling me this: are you side B or are you side A?
Mm-hmm.
And so to Brian's point, you got to look at the dead wax. What if you're a newbie to the hobby and don't even know what the hell dead wax is, and doesn't know that there is actually an inscription in the dead wax? Like, you could be listening to that album in a way other than the artist had intended because the label is not providing you with sufficient information.
And on that topic, sometimes they don't say the speed. Now, that's not usually important with an LP, but on an EP or 12-inch single, sometimes they don't say if it's a 45 or a 33.
Yep.
So, irritating.
Actually, funny. My dad, he was talking to me last weekend. He bought I don't know who it was, but it was one where you have to play at 45, and he played the whole thing at 33. And he's like, "This sounds weird, but it sounds good." I'm like, "Okay." And then he tells me later that, "Oh no, I had to change it to 45." It's.
I wonder, and I'm sure that it's happened that someone has done that. Not knowing that then took it back to the store and went, "This sounds like shit. What's wrong with it?"
Yeah.
I mean, that has to have happened somewhere.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did someone mention trifold covers? No,
Yes.
but
I did have that trifold triple album with that record jammed in the middle. Yeah,
And that weird poster.
yeah.
I don't like the trifolds because you open this side, and those records are easy, but the one in the middle is
Yeah,
painful.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have a few of those.
Mhm.
Okay, Tim, you're up.
Here's a pet peeve of mine, being, I guess, an autograph collector as well. Smudges. Smudges.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of smudges.
that's a cool signed record. I like that.
And it's nothing to be, I mean, they're nice enough to sign it, but just annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it depends
You
what
get-
they make the cover out of, right? If it's too glossy, the Sharpie's going to smudge.
Well, that's it. And it's just more like, it's just the environment, like you never know, like you're probably never going to see this person again. So it's like a one shot thing. And it's like, you get a smudge.
I remember the last time I saw the Sadies, and they had just put out, I don't remember what the album was, the album before the last one that Travis was on, Dallas was on. And I met the band, and they all signed it, and it's really glossy. And I'm just thinking to myself, don't touch each other's signature because it's going to smudge. And they didn't, and it all got signed, and I'm kind of holding it going, wanting the Sharpie just to dry so that it didn't smudge, and thankfully it didn't, because that would suck. But,
Like
Yeah.
even this one did. Like if you look,
yeah.
see that?
I mean, if that's an unacceptable signature, Tim, I'll take it off your hands for you. I don't want it to weigh your collection.
Oh, good. It's just yeah.
Hey, it's pet peeves, right? If it bugs
Pet
you, it bugs you. It's all fair game. All right, Daryl.
I'll try to keep this one short, but ultimately for me, and this has been a pet peeve of mine forever, and it doesn't matter if it's this hobby, it happens in every hobby. It's the whole, your collection is shit because I don't like your collection. So it goes along with the whole, for me, I'm listening to it because I like listening to it, right? If I was playing video games and somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, you're playing Super Mario Brothers. That's shit. You should be playing, I don't know, Double Dragon." So I'm not going to hang out with you because that's kind of a, as I get older, I just don't have time for people like that. So does it really matter if I'm listening to my grandfather's copy of Mel Tillis?
Nope.
Or, Tacos After 8 putting on the Ritz, which I think is a cool song. And I'll give one example and one more example. And I know, Rob, you're going to like this. And I think Brian and Tim, you'll like this too.
Starship?
Does it matter if I'm listening to Barney Bentall and the Legendary Hearts? Of course it does, because he's awesome.
He is awesome.
But, for somebody to tell me that my collection is trash because I've got music they don't like, that to me is a big pet peeve. And I guess I'm just getting to an age where I just could care less what other people think anymore.
I'm with you, man.
Amen.
I'm with you. All right. All right. Which one of these am I going to go with? I got a couple more on my list. All right. This is a huge pet peeve for me. Huge. Record store day flippers.
Oh, good one.
Those sons of bitches that scoop up all those records, and within an hour of record store day beginning, they're already listed on eBay.
Yeah.
That's not the point of record store day. And they're listed for double, triple the amount that they, that just, it pisses you off. That's not the point of record store day. The point of record store day is that independent record stores. I mean, I don't like record store day to begin with, and I've not been shy about that. It's lost its luster for me, but again, that's just my opinion. But these guys are just jackasses. Leave the records in the store and let people that have been lining up since 2 a.m. get their shot at getting those records. Yes, I know you can make more money if you list them on eBay, but that's not the damn point. That really just pisses me off.
Yeah.
There you go. Simple.
I agree with you.
And every day that every time that the record store day list comes out, I cringe and I go, I really hope there's nothing on here I want.
Yeah, this year's pretty weak.
There's I think 2 that I want. 2? I think 2.
Is it the band or something?
No, that's coming out. There is a band record coming out in April, but it's not for Record Store Day. But I can't remember what it was.
U2? Is it another
No.
U2? Oh, I'm surprised.
I don't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I always hope that there's nothing on Record Store Day that I want, so that I don't have to deal with how the hell am I going to find it and what the hell am I going to pay for it? Because I'm too old and grumpy to go line up overnight. I don't do outside. So
That's awesome.
all right. We got 8 minutes. Should we go around one more time and knock off your list if there's anything else you got on there, and then we'll do a wrap up? So
Sure, I'll mention a couple things. It seemed to me that around 2010, 2013, around there, when you bought a record, it often had a CD in it. And I, later, maybe more download codes, and those are both fine with me. I'd like to have a digital copy, but it seems like now there oftentimes isn't anything. So I find that really weird. So I prefer that. Here's a really oddball one. This is a Spoon EP, and weirdly, I have another example. I have a couple, or maybe even 3 records where side 1 and side 2 are exactly the same. So you get to the end of it, and the second side has the same tracks just repeated. It's not a common thing, but it happens from time to time, which bugs me. We talked about colored records. I think I don't mind colored variants. The only color I don't like is white, because I feel like you can't see dust on those. I know you brush them off or whatever, but white has always bothered me. I'll just say one other thing before we move along. Record Store Day, since we're just talking about that, I agree with everything you said, but one thing that always irritates me about Record Store Day, and it's not something that affects me because I don't buy these things, but why is it that they repress commonly available records that you can buy at a used record store for $3 or $4, and they repress them on Record Store Day, and yet people buy them? I don't understand that, because you can go to any store and find these records for next to nothing. I don't really understand that. That's one thing about Record Store Day that really irritates me. All right, that's enough. I have a lot more on my list, but
it's not the Record Store Day exclusive edition. That's why.
No, that's probably true. Yeah,
got to have that hype sticker on there that advertises the etching on the fourth.
That's right, the etching. All right.
Okay, Tim.
For me, it's are you guys into those big box sets? Do you guys get those?
Depends who the artist is. I have some.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and they're like hundreds of dollars, and it's like, well. And if you're a completionist or whatever, you get the FOMO, right? So like stuff like
the McCartney box,
like this. Like I've shown this before, right?
Yeah.
But like, so it's a complete. It's got about 50 or 60 singles, 7-inch singles in here. I don't want to open the whole damn thing up, but not right now. It takes a minute, but it's heavy and it's a block of wood. And like, where do you put this? Yeah. It's like this, and it's like, I picked it up. I'm like, it's great. Oh, it looks great. It packages great, but then it's like more stuff.
Liz, I sympathize, because I'm a big Beatles fan, and I bought the anniversary edition of Pepper and the White Album and Revolver and Let It Be and Abbey Road, and, whatever. I couldn't afford the monobox, so I bought all the albums individually when it came out the first time. But then they came out with like the anthology box, and I'm like, no. And they did the red and the blue and added an extra disc. I'm like, no. And I just drew a line in the sand and went, I can't do this anymore. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it came with one. So of the 50 or I forget however many there are, like 50 or 60 of all these, you got one random test pressing of one of these.
That's kind of cool.
So mine was Hope for the Future. I don't know, one of his classical things. Not a great one, but so it's just that's kind of cool.
Rich's pet peeve is that you weren't prepared and have to get up all the time.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
Sorry, Richard.
All right. You got any more on your list there, Tim?
No, that's it.
All right. Daryl, how about you?
I'll try to go through them quickly. I got like 4 or 5 here.
Let her rip.
So the first one is like records and albums. There's a lot of records that are being reissued, and the question is, should they really be reissued? Versus there are records that I'm like, why hasn't this been reissued? And what that does is it leads to this idea of unofficial pressings, because people are just like, you know what, screw that, I'm just gonna whatever. So unofficial pressings, I don't have a problem with. I wish this one here was repressed properly, but I had to go the unofficial route because I don't think it has an official repress.
I don't think so.
Now we talked about this. This doesn't bother me as much as other people. In fact, I think it adds to the experience depending. But that's like things that are written on the cover, like these numbers here. I mean, this is one that I got from the record station. I mean, that's how they used to catalog stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it just adds personality, you know, and stuff going back to the 60s. This was my grandfather's copy of, talked about John McCormack, but you can kind of see it up there. I mean, people used to write their names down, the dates that they purchased these things. They brought them to parties so they didn't get lost. So, yeah, does it make it lose value? I guess so, but it also adds personality. That's what it does to me. And then you have to have this album. It must be in your collection. That drives me crazy. An example would be, I mean, I have this. I've heard this before. It's a good album. I like it, but honestly, I think the Division Bell is absolutely underrated. I know lots of people hate it. I think it's the best Pink Floyd album out there. Another example of that could be something like Van Halen, you know, this versus what in my mind is their best album, but I think it's because I just grew up in a different time. So, you know, you're not a true Van Halen fan if you like the Sammy Hagar era. Whatever. Brian, you already talked about this, but excessive, like the cost of Discogs. So my wife got me this for Christmas. I don't want to know what she paid for this on Discogs. It was a Christmas gift, but I can, based on what I see, I can only imagine. But Discogs prices are just insane. And then last but not least is just what the heck ever happened to decent records being sold in thrift stores? You know, you used to at one point in time be able to get like a copy of a record like this for a couple bucks. Now it's whatever. And now all you can find in thrift
stores
is
you said decent records, you know?
I like that. It's a decent record. But the only thing you can find now are things like Rita Coolidge and Nana Muscuri and stuff like that. And I think it's a shame. I kind of wonder. I mean, you would have to think that maybe there's somebody in like Value Village and stuff, and they're just grabbing all the good stuff. The workers are just grabbing all the good stuff and putting the shit on the shelf.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's my last pet peeve is just thrift stores that have nothing in them. There's no value in them. Nothing.
I was going to say, Darryl, last year there was a record store van with their branding on it, big record store in Toronto, parked behind the local Salvation Army. And he was coming in and going out. I'm not sure which way the records were going, but he was definitely parked there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's just insane.
All right. I got 2 pet peeves. Number 1, people like Daryl who think ABBA sucks. No, I legitimately only have 1 pet peeve left on my list. And this one, people call me crazy. Well, it's kind of 2 pet peeves in one. When you go to a record show, I'm not talking about, you know, the cheap dollar bins that are underneath the table. I'm talking about the stuff that's on the table. If you're a vendor and you don't have the decency to put them in a sleeve, I'm not looking at them. Yeah. Because what that says to me is you don't have any respect for the condition of your inventory. If it's a dollar bin, that's a whole different story. But if it's, you know, these are $10, these are $20 records, and you don't have sleeves on them, I'm not going to look at it. Am I maybe missing a find? I probably am, but it just really bothers me that if you're a vendor at a record show, put a little bit of effort into it. And related to that, and this is my biggest record buying pet peeve, when you're at the shows and they have the bins packed so goddamn tight you can barely flip through the records. Oh, that pisses me off. I literally will skip those tables. And does that mean I miss stuff? It absolutely does.
Yeah.
But I'm a curmudgeon-y old man trapped in a 40-year-old's body, and I just can't be bothered to pull out every single record. Or there's no room to pull out a stack of records to put them over here because you're packed elbow to elbow at these shows. So you don't have any room to do that. So you're literally take a third of the records out, have some extra bit so that we can actually flip through and see what's in the damn pins. I'll get off my soapbox now.
Well, on that topic, Rob, there's a vendor I encounter from time to time who doesn't even put prices on his records. You have to ask him for every single record. How much is this one? I just give up.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Richie and I agree on this one. So there you go. Just wait till I'm 60. I hope that takes a long time to get to 60. Well, gentlemen, we did a lot of bitching and a lot of get off my lawn, but that's all good. They're all the pain is real for everybody. So that was kind of a fun exorcism of our record collecting demons. How about that? So
I think it's all meant in fun too, right?
Yes,
like
absolutely.
We all recognize that there are bigger problems out there than our record collections, but nice event.
Well, and I got one more in this hand for you, Richie. Come on, man. Curtis is saying, did somebody say etching? Yes, put some live tracks in studio and take a bloody interview. Yeah, it's a record, for frig's sakes. Absolutely. All right. As we always do, we'll go around the horn. Brian, I know you said off the top, not much happening over at the Embryonic Rabbit Hole, but what's going on?
Well, hopefully I will record a video of recent finds. That's my goal before the end of the week. Because, as I said, it's March break and the kids are running around and someone's doing laundry right now, and that's irritating. So that's my goal for the week. Nothing else.
Well said. Daryl, what's going on with you?
Not a whole lot. I'm heading out for a hockey tournament tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday. I want to try to get the video out because those that missed it at the top of the show, I did take a video of the drive across the ice, so it'd be nice to show what that's like. I know Rob's going to be cringing every second of the way.
Oh, bigger balls than me, man. I couldn't. I'm a chicken shit, and I will absolutely admit it. So, Tim doesn't have a channel, but one of these weeks he's going to start one. But anything coming up? Any concerts coming up or anything?
Nothing this month. There's one. My next will be George Thorogood.
Ooh,
beginning of April. I think it's April 1st or April 2nd.
Playing somewhere in Ottawa or in Montreal?
Yeah, the Hard Rock Casino. It just opened up here like a year ago, not even a year ago.
Nice.
It's brand new.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think the only concert I've got coming up, I'm going to mention them for the third time. Whitehorse is coming to the city that I live in. So it's a chance I'll probably go with MGK Boston because I think he'll be in town because his in-laws are here. So last time they were in town.
Are you still doing that interview at all?
Yes. Not sure when. Scheduling didn't work out. She's on tour now. They just played Thunder Bay last night. They got hit in that snowstorm. So they had 2 days to get from Toronto to Thunder Bay, which is like 20 hours or some stupid amount of time to drive, 18 out, whatever it was. So they got stuck in the snowstorm and they got stuck in Sault Ste. Marie. And Sault Ste. Marie to Thunder Bay is like 11 hours. They left yesterday morning because Alan had it on his social media. They left Sault Ste. Marie at 8:00 in the morning, and they had a show 12 hours later, and it was an 11-hour drive. They got there 45 minutes before the show, managed to get the gear set up, and were like 10 minutes late getting on stage, which is damn impressive. So yes, it's going to happen, but it's going to be probably after the leg of the Canadian tour, I hope. Before the leg of the U.S. tour, I don't know. But we will still do it at some point. Just scheduling didn't work out. So stay tuned. I still hope I think it'll be a fantastic conversation. So we shall see. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much to my guest, Brian from Embryonic Robot. Please check out his channel. Tim and Daryl and I will be back next week with another something to talk about, with another somebody else to talk about it with. To everyone that watched tonight, thanks for tuning in. We love chatting with you. And for folks who are going to watch it later, thanks for spending a couple hours with us. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Bye.